right, who's ready for some football?
Yes, who's ready indeed? Happy Saturday morning. Happy to take you through this OFL semifinal competition here in the Pee Wee scene. 12v12 here at Citywide, set for an 11 a.m. kickoff. It's the 6-2 Burlington Stampeders taking on the 7-1 London Junior Mustangs. The last time these two teams hooked it up, Ron Forwarda, it was a 22-0 victory for London in Burlington back on Monday, October 14th. Same teams, but you expect a similar tale here in the postseason.
Well, it's postseason football. Anything can happen. You know, to use every cliche in the book, it's one game, and your season either comes to an end today or you play on next week going to Brantford.
One of two semifinal games going on in the OFL scene today. Earlier, with a 10 a.m. kickoff, it's the undefeated 8-0 Hamilton Junior Ticats taking on the 5-3 Guelph Junior Griffins. And that's the other semifinal, 10 a.m. We will try to give you some updates if we get them from the out-of-town scoreboard. 210 points put up during the regular season by the Stampeders, wearing their red uniforms with white buckets and black pants as they set their captains out there. But 328 points, the most offense put out by any team, including the 8-0 Hamilton Junior Tiger Cats in the 2019 OFL Pee Wee 12v12 fall season. As you see, the Junior Mustangs rocking their gray uniform, silver buckets, and the dark pants as well.
Yeah, you know, again, the Mustangs have had a really good year. Burlington has had a very, very successful year. They lean a lot more on their defense than they do on their offense. The Mustangs are explosive at a number of positions, led by, of course, the quarterback, Sam Super Troopish.
5 straight shutouts put up by the Junior Mustangs defense. It's astonishing when you think the only loss of the regular season came all the way back right here at Citywide, Friday, September 13th against the Hamilton Junior Tiger Cats. It was a 14-8 loss, and your defense only gives up 14 points, yet you go away with the L to your record. But since then, 59-0 at Waterloo against the Predators, 54-0 at Brantford against the Bisons, 38-0 here against the Cambridge Lions, then the 22-0 victory against the Burlington Stampeders we were referring to earlier, and to finish out the regular season, 59-zip against the Niagara Generals on the 19th of October.
Yeah, that was a game that, you know, the Mustangs just went in and they put everything on the line. They knew they had to win and to have an opportunity to host it all the way through. And again, kudos to Hamilton, who's had a great year. Kudos to both these teams. You know, it's a brisk Saturday morning, John. Knock on wood. Welcome to Canada. It's not snowing, so life is good.
Yeah, freezing rain at the beginning of this contest, or this morning, I guess I should say, around 10 a.m. local time. A bit of freezing rain, but that has dissipated, and so is the wind for the most part. If this stays this way, it's decent football weather for the beginning of November in the Great White North.
Yeah, you know what? Again, you're talking November football. It's going to be so unpredictable weather-wise. On a day like this, on a championship weekend like this, this is a day you take and run with all year long.
Stampeders versus the Junior Mustangs. It's OFL semifinal action live on Junior Mustangs TV with the ball set at the 45-yard line. We're ready to dig in here on your Saturday morning tilt. It's a bit of a onside kick almost, if you will, attempted by the Junior Mustangs. Nicely recovered, though, by Punith Gudar, number 18 today for the Stamps.
I went through a couple guys' hands there earlier, trickle around, but again, what you do with the ball laying on the ground like that, you don't try to pick it up, you don't do anything fancy, you fall on it, you recover it, you get possession for your team, and let's see what the Burlington offense can do.
They will start this game off from the 44-yard line, and again, this is a team that's coming off of a 28-14 win over the Cambridge Lions, all but eliminating the Lions from Division A playoff competition. They sweep to the right side. It's a handoff trying to break over to the left side now, swarmed by a bunch of gray uniforms, but the pile continues to push all the way up to the 50-yard line. Looks like a gain of about 6 yards here for Burlington.
Yeah, it's a full house look. They send the two running backs out to the right-hand side off to the edge, and big number 38, I believe it is, straight up the middle.
Great offensive line, which has Luca Pandolfi, Zane Spano, Matthew Kiskis, Diego Braun, Chase Dawson, and Quentin Niles, just to name a few. as we see their quarterback in Carson Metcalf line up right behind the line of center. They bunch in. It's a pitch play to the right side, and they have some real estate here for the first down before they get out of bounds. No, staying inbounds in front of the Junior Mustangs bench. They move the chains. Wow, to be honest with you, Ron, as we see the Mama's Hot Italian Sandwich replay, I thought the play was dead right about here, but being able to continue up the field with a head of steam was their running back.
Well, again, they show the same look, that full house look. This time the big fullback leads out to the right edge as a lead blocker, and they toss it out there, and a good gain by the tailback.
Don't know if my eyes deceive me or not, but I believe that's number 32, their cowbell, if you will, at the running back position, and that would be Sean Snook Fulami. So Snook Fulami looks like he might get the handoff here. Now it goes to a different big man. This time the Junior Mustangs defense steps it up, and they clog up the middle, limit the gain to just about 2 yards.
Yeah, straight dive play, same as last time. You motion out a little bit of stuff to the right-hand side and straight ahead with the big boy right up the middle. And again, that time the Mustangs were ready for it. Gain of 2 yards, good stand by the defense. This Burlington team, I just have to say, it's a very big offensive line.
So 2nd and 8 coming up here. I believe that was actually Thomas Leo on the last carry, and 2 plays prior to that, Sean Snook Fulami. And we'll see with the quarterback now, once again, going right behind the line of center, as they will have 2 in the backfield. They're going to fake the handoff. It's a play action. They throw this ball. It is an incomplete pass, and there's a flag at the 45-yard line.
Yeah, I think we got a procedure against the Burlington Stampeders. I think somebody on the offensive line, somebody moved a little bit early there. So with the pass being incomplete, they're going to have the option here of either declining the penalty or taking them down or moving them back 5 yards here. So they decided to move them back to 5 yards.
And again, this is a semi-final battle. It all comes down to this, the 7-2 record of, or 7-1 record, I apologize, of the Junior Mustangs going against the 6-2 visiting Burlington Stampeders. And one winner is going to advance to the finals next week, I believe, in Brantford, the home of Wayne Gretzky and Alexander Graham Bell. And the other one, well, unfortunately, it's all over but the crying, Mr. Ferwerda.
Yeah, and it's such a sudden end when you in football, because you play to win championships. You play the game, and you've worked so hard together for such a long time. For one of these teams, the season's going to be over in just a couple hours.
3rd down, Carson Metcalf takes the snap, looks to air this one out, and tries to go deep. Incomplete pass. I believe the intended target was Jack Sardifis.
Well, that time they had a guy wide open running down the seam, but I think the ball was tipped either at the line of scrimmage, or I'm not really sure. It comes out kind of sideways there, but they had a couple guys streaking there as they went almost empty. So 3 guys on verts.
And Jack Sepharitis, the intended target on that last play, brings up 4th down. You'd assume, given the field positioning right now, Burlington's just going to try and get this one deep. 2 Junior Mustangs back, as this one is a bit bobbled. They try and pick it off of the turf. Burlington eventually does, but they're just going to have to fall on top of it. And recovering was Thomas Leo for the Stampeders. Or no, actually, apologize. It was number 90 and Quentin Douglas. Regardless, it really backfires on the Stampeders, as it's a turnover now at midfield and decent field position to start off at their own 52-yard line for London.
Well, just as they were lining up for that punt, the wind really started coming out of the north there, and you could see it. And all of a sudden, I think that played with the long snap and just cold fingers.
So now the ball will be snapped to the quarterback in the pro set position. One will move over to the right side. Check that, make it 2. A low snap settled down by the quarterback. Hands it off to the running back. Ball comes loose, and the Burlington Stampeders recover. Wow, one play by the Junior Mustangs offense, and it goes right back to the Burlington Stampeders. Now, he really put his body on the line here, Ron. He's limping, and he's going to stay on this play. And that is Quentin Douglas. So Quentin Douglas was involved in the earlier play, and he gets involved in this one here too.
Yeah, again, just a little bobbled, a little bit of a low snap, and good pressure right away by Burlington, and then to force the fumble. The quarterback and the running back never quite got the exchange on that. So unfortunately, it's a turnover and downs. Both teams turned the ball over. Of course, Burlington, on the downs, but London, like one play later, and see what the Stampeders can keep going.
Thomas Leo on the fumble recovery, 30, not 80. Those Burlington Stampeders numbers fooling me, but here their offense goes back out there. Second drive of the game. It's a pitch play. Grabbing this one from the quarterback is Sean Snook Fulami, and motioning over to the right side. There's a flag on this one as he's down around the 45.
Well, we got a couple flags on there. So you got one flag a little bit deeper. I think you're going to have a hold on the offense, and that's exactly what the call is. Unfortunately, somebody was mugged on the inside of the defensive line by the Burlington Stampeders.
Currently 4 degrees in the Forest City, feeling more like 0 as we've officially entered November. Happy November to you. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to Junior Mustangs TV, and also happy belated Halloween run. I hope you got some candy in you.
No, didn't go trick-or-treating. Got a little bit of wings into me, though, instead, which is like adult candy.
See, I thought you meant angel wings, and that's what you dressed up as for Halloween.
I don't have to. I just sound like an angel.
That is correct. Well, unfortunately, going backwards, thanks to the penalty yardage, are the Burlington Stampeders, as they're now back at their own 54-yard line, and a first and, well, we'll call it a barn length here for their quarterback, Carson Metcalf, who's right behind the line of center. Throws this one. That would have been, well, a live ball if it wasn't caught, but it is by Thomas Leo. Leo marching his way up the field in front of the Junior Mustangs bench. Gains a healthy amount of yards. I'd say about 15 on the play.
Yeah, good gain. Got all the penalty yards back, plus a few. And it's gain of about 15 yards on that. Just a little step off screen. Now that pass was behind, as you can see the referee's arms indicating that was a backward pass.
Yeah,
so
live ball.
Handoff.
He's got to catch that ball, or pretty much the equation goes down to a fumble.
Yeah, which is exactly what it would mean. So they went empty that time. They went trips to the field, and they got the Mustangs in a outmanned at the point of attack, which is basically all you're trying to do in football.
Looking at the big man out there on the Junior Mustangs defense, number 99, Jordan Silvestri. Let's see what they can do here on this second, and we'll call it 7 situation. Metcalf takes the snap. Another flag on this play. The ball is thrown, but incomplete as Metcalf is knocked down to the turf here at Citywide by Tayshawn Duncan.
Yeah, Duncan came right off the edge there and applied the pressure. And again, it's an offside against the Burlington Stampeders. I don't know if they have somebody not quite set on the offensive line, or someone's moving, or if the ball's moving a little bit. But that's the third time that we've seen that offside penalty against Burlington.
Might have been the intended target on that play as you checked it out on the Mama's Hot Italian Sandwich replay at the top of your screen there. Does the swag to the line go a little too quickly?
Yeah, well, but again, the flag came from this side, so that's, he's seeing something inside, because the referee on the far side would have done that. In the Canadian football, if he's back from the line, he can motion towards the line of scrimmage. So, I'm not sure if it was that. I'm not exactly sure 100% what they're seeing, but someone's either moving inside a little bit early or the outside, or they weren't quite set.
Stampeders started off the 2019 season with 5 straight victories over Waterloo, Guelph, Brantford, Niagara, and Cambridge before losing 2 in a row to Hamilton and London, and then finishing the regular season back in the win column against Cambridge. Here's a pass going deep, and this one is caught and rumbling off of their target, down past the 15, past the 10, going out of bounds around the 5-yard line. Great job by Noah Reese of the Junior Mustangs to save a touchdown, because Jack Safaridis was going to go all the way.
Yeah, all it is you show that same full house motion. He's just running a streak from the slot position. They do that stack look. That's almost like a big tight end out there. Does a good job making the first and second man miss. Wrapped up around, I'd say, about the 6-yard line, Johnny.
Yeah, Safaridis waited for that ball to come down to him, caught it, fought off Levy Finley, then went up the field, battled Nathan Sims, and again, if it wasn't for Noah Reese at the 5-yard line, just simply shoving him out of bounds, but they're in the Mama's Hot Italian Sandwich red zone right now, are the Stampeders, with their quarterback motioning everybody to the right side of the field, taking the snap, handing it off, trying to go right up the middle, inching close to the goal mouth. But they're going to say just shy on this one. And Ron, what do you like on this play call?
Just a simple dive play inside. Give it to the big guy. You got 4 downs to crack it in from the 6-yard line.
Nathan Smith, who normally plays defensive back, coming in on this play.
Yeah, and again, good tackle, good low tackle on that. But again, good gain of about 4 yards. Really positive momentum. See if the Stampeders can strike early in this game.
Once again, the numbers get me. It was actually Anthony Tabaro. So we'll see what Carson Metcalf does here right behind the line of center. They motion once again to the right side. They're going to hand this one off over to the left side into the end zone. touchdown Stampeders, but hold the phone. Multiple officials waving it off as the penalty is coming against the Burlington Stampeders. I thought
this is the fourth one. This is a procedure call. So yeah, at the top of the screen that time, because he was on the end and he moved. So I think this is number 14, right at the very top there. That's procedure. That's what they're starting to call.
And I thought AT got in, but no, not the Chargers AT, Ron. Anthony Tabaro. And unfortunately, that does not count. They go back 5 yards. And to be honest with you, a pretty consistent drive right now by the Stampeders. It's just these little penalties here and there that are keeping them from going into the end zone. So at the helm right now, I believe, is number 4 in Zach Benninger. So Benninger is now taking over at the pivot position. Is going to hand this one off. A smothering tackle by the Junior Mustangs. And another flag on this one, as I believe it was Thomas Leo on the handoff. Watch again here on the replay, as it is Benninger at the helm, number 4, and handing it off to number 30 there, once again, in Leo.
But you're going to get the same procedure call at the top of the screen that you're going to get again. See, he's set. He's on the line of scrimmage. He can't move, and before the snap, right there. So that's what they're getting.
So that's Jackson. I like that name, kind of original. Jackson Maggio is the one that keeps getting called for that at the top of your screen there. And it places the ball, though, at the 2-yard. Explain that one, though, to me, Ron.
I think they're also getting a head tackle in there as well. So a personal foul, and that's what's going to put the ball down at the 1.
So one hand washes the other. They both wash the face. Let's see if they try and give it to Thomas Leo here with Zach Benninger, the quarterback at the helm. Benninger looking to snap this ball. He does. Hands it off to Leo. Leo right up the middle, trying to push his way through. And they're going to say he was shy. And that, again, will bring up second down.
Second down. Good penetration this time. They're just going with a straight-ahead dive play with that big formation that they've got, the full house, one receiver to the top of the field. But again, there you can see good penetration right away and drove him back. No gain on the play.
So if you are Burlington, do you stick to this up-the-gut style attack right now?
Yeah, you've got it. You're on the 1-yard line. You've got to say to your offensive line, we can get a yard in 4 cracks. So I think you come back with the same type of play.
So they go Benninger again right behind the line of center. They give it back to Thomas Leo. Benninger does take the snap. Actually hands this one off, though, not to Leo. But did he break the goal line? They're going to say he does. That's Anthony Tabaro. Touchdown, Stampeders.
So, again, just good drive by Burlington. That time they same basic play. This time they handed off to the other fullback, or the other lead blocker, who's done a lot of the damage on the inside of this game already.
You see Silvestri met him before the goal line, Ron, and tried to stuff Tabaro in his tracks and got some support from the rest of his teammates, but according to the officials, he broke the plane before being shoved back down to the 1-yard line, and 6 points goes on the board here early for Burlington on the road. As now taking over the quarterback duties will be Carson Metcalf. So Metcalf taking over for Zach Benninger from the previous play. Metcalf trying to go into the end zone. A bit of a dying quail set out of the hands, though, trying to find Jackson Maggio. Incomplete pass. The convert's no good, and it's a 6-0 game here early.
So 6-0 game early here. They went with that trips formation over to the side, and the Mustangs over-adjusted this time. And then they come back. They've got 2 receivers, 1 DB. So they got to fix their defensive alignment here a little bit with their coverage for the Mustangs as 6-0 with 3:24 left in the first quarter. John.
For the first time since Friday, September 13th, the London Junior Mustangs have given up some points. Something they didn't do in week 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8. Shutting out the Predators 59-0, the Bisons 54-0, the Lions 38-0, these Stampeders in their barn run 22-0, and the Generals 59-0 to round out the regular season. Well, they find themselves in territory they're not quite familiar with, as they are down here 6-0 early with 3:24 remaining in the opening quarter of play. As the ball's placed back down at the 45-yard line, and either holding it or going to approach this ball will be Luke McKim. And I believe McKim's just holding it for Jackson Maggio. And I apologize, I got it all mixed up as it's neither of them. As booting this one will be number 72. Receiving the ball will be Cole Summers after the Diego Braun kick. So once again with the ball at the 46-yard line, decent field to start.
Yep. Good little return, good coverage downfield by the Stampeders as well, keeping them to beyond inside the 50-yard line on that it's kind of a medium short kick there. You know, you're trying to kick it to the sidelines there. These kids probably don't have the leg strength, and plus they're going into the wind right now to drive it down the field.
Sweet tackle by Sean Snook Fulami on that last play. So let's see, the first play of the game offensively for the Junior Mustangs was a fumble run for Werda, and that was the last time we saw the offense. So second drive of the game. They're going to sweep it over to the left side. That's Nathan Sims, but Sims will be, well, I think tackled out. They're going to say he gained a yard there. I thought he was lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Well, Burlington's ready for him on that, and again, they do a good job right there. The pressure's inside, good low tackle.
If you watch on this replay, though, Ron, if he goes to the outside edge, that's how the blocking scheme's set up for him. Watch right here. He cuts in.
Yeah, he cuts in. I think you should have tried to go outside just a little bit longer in there. But again, it's these kids are also playing. It's cold out here, so again, how kids react in the cold sometimes can be a different animal as well.
A trio beside the quarterback. He splits them. It's a low snap picked up by the running back, but he'll be smothered in the backfield. Ben O'Hara saved the ball in possession, but then got sandwiched in on that Stampeder sandwich, including Quentin Douglas.
Well, yeah, and again, this is the second time we've seen a little bit of a snap issue there. And again, the wind and the cold's playing a little bit low there. Ben O'Hare does a good job keeping it up. But again, Burlington's really firing with all cylinders early in this game so far, John.
Safaridis as well in on that play. We saw him make that massive catch offensively that sent them all the way into the Mama's Hot Italian red zone, where they were able to capitalize thanks to the big man in Anthony Tabaro. So the quarterback for the Junior Mustangs is going to huck this one, and this one is caught. Nice hookup. Cole Summers from, I believe, is that Leon Doucette at the helm?
Yeah, Leon Doucette's playing quarterback right now, and again, they just hit Summers on the little out from the slot position. You can kind of see him in the motion. He just does a little out there. Good coverage downfield by the Stampeders. Got the yards back that they lost on the second down, so now we're looking at 4th and 10 here.
And again, you got to think back, 3:27 remaining in the opening quarter of play. It was the Burlington Stampeders striking first. And we'll see if the Junior Mustangs can respond here, as again it's Doucette in the shotgun awaiting the snap. A blitz coming here from the Stampeders. Pocket collapsing, and Doucette is sacked. With the penetration is Cole Scott. Great Scott in on the play.
Yeah, they just overload the inside there. They're basically going with what they call bloody nose front, TNT, and then they loop in the other linebacker right through the A-gap, and just not enough blockers to pick it up there. Good defensive scheme by the Stampeders. Turn it over on downs.
An incredible play. I mean, the blitz was coming, but just the Junior Mustangs either didn't detect it or didn't execute soon enough. And as a result, they turn over the ball back at their own 40-yard line. Excellent field positioning for the Stampeders to go right back on the attack. And do you stick with that up-the-gut style attack, Ron, knowing that it worked to perfection on your last drive?
I think you're going to see a toss going to the wide side of the field here.
Carson Metcalf, does he oblige you? Will hand this one off to the right side, trying to skip through a tackle, but being knocked down is Sean Snook Fulami.
A tackle made by number 4 by the Mustangs.
That is Ben O'Hara.
Yeah, Ben O'Hara. You can see him fighting off right there, just shooting right in from the outside linebacker position, creeping down at the top of the field. They're trying to block him in there. Does a good job of sidestepping and going low and wrapping him up. Low, no gain, very little gain on that. Gain about 1 yard, I guess.
8 seconds remaining in this quarter, as it is a 6-0 contest for the Burlington Stampeders here in the OFL semifinal competition on your Saturday morning.
And Burlington has weathered the storm with the wind in their face now. So now they're going to change ends. The wind's going to be at their back. And let's see if that passing game can get going a little bit more for the Stampeders as well.
Weatherman said that we are not only going to endure some rain throughout this game, but that the winds could gust up to 35 kilometers an hour. None of those things have applied themselves so far in this contest, as Metcalf will throw this one, trying to find the target deep in Jackson Maggio. That's about the 3rd or 4th time that they've gone after Maggio, have yet to complete that pass though, and maybe it goes back to the weather, the fact that maybe Metcalf felt the pressure of the pocket collapsing.
Well, again, the wind, I think, is playing a little bit, but they've got something going on with this run game, and then they pop a couple deep as well. The Mustangs, quite honest with you, they look a little confused defensively here.
That was the final play of the first quarter. Ron Ferwerda and yours truly, Johnny Urban, happy to take you through this OFL semifinal competition. We go to the Aircade Jacks Communications box score with 3:27 remaining in the opening quarter of play. It was Burlington getting the lone point so far. An immaculate drive, which really was set up by Jack Safaridis. His catch and yak, if you will, yards after the catch got this team all the way down to the 5-yard line. Then they yo-yoed there. 2-yard gain, 5-yard penalty. 2-yard gain, 5-yard penalty. But eventually they capped it off with Anthony Tabarro into the end zone as he, wheelbarreled his way through.
Yeah, and again, that's a good-sized running back that they've got in here. And here they go. Now you watch for them. They've got the trips formation to the field there.
And I believe a timeout being called here on the play.
No. Mouth guard.
So a mouth guard issue. So the officials can't get anything past them today on your Saturday morning, and that's key for the safety of these young individuals, is now going behind the line of center. Now switch that. They're going to go back to trips to the left side. Carson Metcalf, I believe the son of Steve Metcalf, the head coach, will take this snap, throws the ball. The pass is complete, hanging on to the ball, but being sandwiched as a result was the intended target on this play, and Thomas Leo, but Leo unfortunately loses about 4 or 5 yards as the Junior Mustangs will not be fooled. It'll bring up 4th and long.
Well, they've seen this play before. This time they stay patient. They understand where they're going with it. It's basically like a long step-off screen. They're trying to get the odd man advantage out there.
And I saw on that replay, stepping up on that play was Nathan Sims, almost from a deep CB or safety position, and he didn't necessarily make the tackle here, but it's the pressure when he comes in that sort of folds the Stampeders game plan up.
Yeah, and again, good job. And as Burlington with the wind at their back has decided to punt now.
So it's a fake punt. They sweep it to the near side, breaking off of 1 tackle, make it 2, make it 3 or 4. The ball came loose at the very end. It'll be a turnover on downs regardless, but Thomas Leo decided to make this play extra exciting. And to be honest with you, he broke off of Cole Summers, just skipped past a Levy Finley, and I thought for just a moment, he might break through that first down marker, but he's still about 7 yards shy at the end of the day.
Well, again, this is playing the wind conditions, and it's a playoff football game. You're on the road, you're up. If you can get up 2 scores on the road early in this game, that's a huge confidence boost against, again, the number 1 offense in the league so far against the Junior Mustangs that have really been stymied.
10:40 remains here in the opening half of play. You're watching Junior Mustangs TV. Thank you for welcoming us into your homes or your smartphone or tablets anywhere around the world. As more flags than a UN meeting will hold this play down before it even gets started.
Yeah, I think you're going to get encroachment against the Stamps on this one. You can see the linebacker, number 17, creeping. And right there, half the line on the left-hand side goes. Now, I don't know if they were drawn off or what's going on, but they're trying to go on snap count here, and they shoot the gap right now. And Mustangs hold close, so it's good. Yeah, it's 5 yards against the Stamps.
In their last 5 games, the lowest amount of offense put out by the Junior Mustangs Pee Wee 12v12 team was 22 points, and that was in that 22-0 victory over these Burlington Stampeders. This is a team over those same 5 weeks that put up 50-plus points in 3 of those 5 competitions. Ron, what's going on right now with a goose egg in the scoring column for the Junior Mustangs here early in the second quarter?
Burlington's just sending more players than the Mustangs have blockers for right now, so that's where they're getting the penetration. It's almost like a 64 almost look so far.
Doucette hands this one off to Nathan Sims, but great penetration, almost some 22-on-22 violence as Henry Monachio goes in there for the Stampeders.
Yeah, short little gain on that. It's going to bring up a second down. Again, Burlington's just getting more guys at the point of attack, sending an extra blocker through, and they just can't. The Mustangs aren't just maintaining their blocks quite long enough to spring those big those athletes that they have in the backfield.
Great blitz. Watch him again here. Number 9, Tyler Shaw. It worked once. Why not go after it again? As they are going to snap, and Tyler Shaw is going to come off of the edge. Now they're going to spring this one over to the far side. That's Mackay Edwards, but Edwards well behind the line of scrimmage, will go into a sea of red. It's a tackle for a loss. There's a flag, though, on this play.
Yeah, you got to hold against the Mustangs when they're trying to run the jet sweep here. So there you can see the motion, or that would be the fly sweep because it's to the wide receiver. You got to hold right inside there. Again, great penetration by Burlington, and they've decided to decline the penalty and obviously take the down and the loss of about 9 yards on that. So that's going to bring up a 3rd down and 12 here, John.
Quentin Niles was the one that eventually made the tackle, but to your point with the holding penalty coming up, it didn't really matter because either way it was going to be a self-inflicted wound by London, who trailed by 6 points here at home early in the second quarter of play with their offense, let's say, stuttering to put it lightly, to start this playoff competition, as they are going to fake the sweep and throw it over to the far side. Pass is complete once again, Ron. That would have been a live ball, but once again, I mean, this Burlington Stampeders defense is not messing around. Not only are they bringing pressure on each and every play, they're covering downfield, and as a result, all these short yardage plays by the junior Mustangs simply aren't working.
No, they're getting outmanned at the point of attack here. What they're doing is they're just basically sending 8-10 guys every play, and they're just maintaining like leverage right across the top with one man deep, and they're saying you're not going to get past us, and that's going to be that, as we're looking at a 4th down here in about 15, John.
With 8:30 remaining before the halftime break from Citywide, and it's currently 3 degrees, feeling more like 0 here in the Forest City. A high snap settled down by the punter and eventually booted away by O'Hara. This one will be picked up near the 50. Nice tackle made by Edwards for the junior Mustangs. A late flag, though, on this play, as coming up with it was the punt returner, and I believe Connor Ferguson.
Yeah, again, I'm not sure what the flag is. It came in really, really late there. Good job. It's not a head tackle or anything else like that, unless you might have got a block in the back there right at the very end. I'm not trying to be a homer or anything. I'm trying to figure out what the flag was. It is a block in the back at the very end there, so it's going back 15 yards.
Quite unfortunate when you think, well, the original punt return here was a net of...
Right there, right on the tackle. The number 17 doesn't break again.
And that would be Cole Scott. And to be honest with you, I've talked about this to you before, especially at the younger age. We've seen Cole Scott go in on a blitz and make an excellent sack on the quarterback in this game in Leon Doucette. But it's that same engine that God gave him that kind of got him into trouble with the penalty on that play.
Well, again, you're on the road. You're trying to make a play. You're trying to upset the team, and you're trying to punch your own ticket to the championship next weekend. About
8 minutes remaining here in the second quarter of play, with the ball at the most Canadian position on the field, the 55-yard line. As in the pro set right now are the Stampeders. It is the quarterback snapping the ball in Benninger, I apologize, that's Carson Metcalf. Metcalf will hand this one off, and not going anywhere on this affair, I believe, is Thomas Leo or Anthony Tabarro, again, the touchdown getter.
Yeah, it's number 36, the touchdown getter. He's just running that fullback dive again. And again, they gave him about 1.5 yards on that, just a straight ahead dive. And again, they're doing it. Burlington's doing a good job of mixing things up, throwing the ball downfield, trying to motion, pounding inside. They've really got the Mustang defense a little guessing right now.
It's a gain of 1 yard, 2nd and 9 from the 54-yard line. Sticking out there is Carson Metcalf right behind the line of center. A bit of a high pitch settled down by Sean Snook Fulami. Fulami, though, chased down in the backfield and almost an ankle tack like a dog on a bone. Not willing to relinquish the leg either was the junior Mustang, and I believe that's number 57 and Max Weber.
Yeah, Max Weber, and I think it's number 22 as well, was in on the tackle. He's really pressured the running back out here. Right here you can see unblocked, just coming up. They're trying to get to the edge. 22 keeps forcing the angle outside, waiting for help to come inside.
Max Weber, and again, you're right, Nathan Sims, number 22, helping him out, but really it's Max Weber right there grabbing onto the leg. That dog on a bone mentality, not willing to let it go, and it brings up a 3rd and long now for the Stamps. So plenty of motion now, or maybe a bit of a correction, if you will, is going from the right to the left side is Darius Lynch. They're going to throw it deep. This one is caught, and it's going to be shy of the first down. It'll bring up about a 4th and 7 here, but pretty impressive play again. We're at the Pee Wee level, but Burlington not afraid to huck it up as you're seeing here on the Mama's Hot Italian Sandwich replay.
Well, what they do is they go trips to the near side of the field. They isolate the tight end one-on-one, and that's number 18 from the tight end position just coming out, just hitting a little bit of a seam play out there. And then again,
Punith Gudar eventually tackled by Noah Reese on the play.
And brings up a 4th down and about 7 here, John, with 5 minutes and 40 seconds left to go in the half.
We've seen them attempt a fake punt, close to the same vicinity on the field. Do you even bother with the fake punt as there's actually a timeout?
Yeah.
So now that kind of goes back to what I was saying. I was debating it, so now Burlington is going to take the timeout and truly debate this one over. Do you set up to punt and punt? Do you set up to punt and fake punt, which you did in the same, like I said earlier, the same vicinity of the field? Or do you just straight up go for it on 4th down, given the fact that you are on the Junior Mustang side of the turf, albeit by 3 yards?
What I would do, again, I don't know the personnel, I don't know what they can and can't do that well. I would punt the ball. Your defense has not given the Mustangs anything. I play the field position game a little bit here. Again, on the road, play the percentages a little bit more. But again, I don't know the personnel. I don't know if Burlington has a kid that can drop the ball down 20 yards or not.
Well, we know that weather-wise, it's not ideal to be throwing the rock around, but they have thrown the ball with Carson Metcalf a handful of times. I can think of 3 occasions where they tried to target Jackson Maggio, but those went for naught. But you mentioned the previous play to Punith Gudar that went for the completion to get them to this exact spot right here with 4th and 7 coming up. And it is Carson Metcalf out there. If you recall, it was Zach Benninger at the helm when they were in the goal line situation. Low snap, fumbled a little bit, settled down by the quarterback. A pitch play with a flag on this one.
Okay.
And I believe this one was coming back anyway.
Yeah, you've got no end here, so you've got too many men in the backfield. You've got no tight end. The wide receiver is uncovered at this point here, and now they go under center. You've got 6 guys in the backfield. You need 7 guys on the line of scrimmage, so you can only have 5. So somebody wasn't lined up where they were supposed to be on that formation. Again, they'll take the play, decline the penalty, 1st down Mustangs.
So it's a turnover, placing the ball in the Junior Mustangs' possession back at London's 49-yard line. 5:23 remains here in the second quarter.
Mustangs in the pistol formation here at the 49-yard line. Let's see what they can get going here. Burlington showing pressure again.
A little bit of pressure, but then the field opens up on that far side there for the Junior Mustangs to go all the way down the field. Leon Doucette, the quarterback keep, works to perfection.
Well, it's the you live by the blitz, you die by the blitz mentality in there. They're overloading. If you don't get the ball carrier when you're sending 8 and 9 guys on every play, there's not a lot at the second level. First makes the first man miss on the quarterback zone read. He sees everybody crashing down. Doucette keeps it and takes it outside for a good gain of about 25 yards on that.
Yeah, with 4:59 remaining here in the second quarter of play, it's the first big offensive play for London, who's trailing in this playoff game at home 6-0. Doucette, who kept it on the last play. Let's see what he does here. Takes the snap, looks to hand this one off. Zigging left, then going right, but eventually being swarmed in the backfield was Ben O'Hara. And as you see on the Mama's Hot Italian Sandwich replay, it didn't really matter if he went left or right here, Ron.
Well, again, penetration by the Stampeders. They're really dominating out of the defensive tackle positions, the Mustangs guards right now. And again, they're trying to get, this is an outside zone play. He's got to keep, I know they're trying to keep them pushing to the backside, but you got to keep pushing to the front side on that. You got to try to push it a little bit, try to cut it up inside maybe a little bit earlier.
Second and long for the Junior Mustangs. In the gun is Doucette, sends 2 to the line. Doucette takes the snap, looks up the field, gonna throw this one to the near side. Pass is complete, using a blocking scheme, and sprung loose is Ben O'Hara. O'Hara past the 20. O'Hara past the 10. O'Hara past the 5 into the end zone. Touchdown, Junior Mustangs.
Okay, whoever, I gotta know who the block is right out here, right coming here. There. That's what springs it. So it was the block on number 4, the second man through. I believe it was number 33 that actually does the block. That's the whole key to this play. One block set this up. because number 4 from Burlington's in perfect position. He fights off the block. He's in great position. And then all of a sudden he's kicked out at the last second. And then Ben O'Hare is able to take it to 45 yards for the touchdown on the screenplay.
We talk about that yak, though, the yards after the catch, the screenplay to the near side. Ben O'Hara does the rest of the work, and then splitting the fork with ease, or at least making it look easy, is Daylon Soar and the Junior Mustangs. With 3:45 remaining in the first half of play, well, they have their first lead of the game, albeit just by 1 point. It's a 7-6 contest here from Citywide.
Well, again, a game that's really being dominated by Burlington, offensively and defensively. Again, within 2 or 3 plays, has the momentum changed now? Can Burlington, they've got to put another drive together at this point, and we'll see what happens as the wind is really picking up now.
Well, I find it funny, as soon as the Junior Mustangs got into the end zone, maybe they're breathing a sigh of relief, and then all of a sudden the wind starts to gust up, and we were expecting wind gusts up to 35 kilometers an hour today, and rain, a little bit of the freezing stuff, if you will, but that has abstained so far, as again, we're under 4 minutes remaining here in the first half of play. 7-6 game now for the Junior Mustangs, thanks to the PAT made by Dalen Sword. As this one will be booted to the near side, and a great job to pick it off the turf. Now his knee was down, so he'll be marked where he grabbed it. Tyler Shaw, that's the second time today that Shaw has had some crafty hands with some crafty kicks put out by the Junior Mustangs.
Yeah, this is a really difficult, just kind of short hops it, and he just does a good baseball play, actually just goes down on both knees, Johnny, squares up to the ball, and then just cradles it. There's a really good job as you can hear behind us, the wind is really picking up all of a sudden.
And one thing I didn't quite pick up, Ron, is we're at the Pee Wee level, 12v12, OFL semifinal action here in the fall. Is the PAT not worth 2 points if the kid kicks it?
No, it's worth 1.
It's still worth 1, okay.
It's 1 if you kick it, and it's, I think they're talking about that.
Now, what level, though? Because there is a younger level where the PAT is actually worth the 2, and the normal convert...
That's more in the summer.
So summer league compared to fall league.
Excuse me, they just changed it. It is 2 for the kick.
That's what I thought, because we're at the Pee Wee 12v12 level.
It's 2 to kick, it's 2 to pass it across, so it's 1 to run it in.
Yeah, so the kick is worth 2. It's an 8-6 game for the Junior Mustangs, and that's imperative as this game continues with the Stampeders offense back out there. A bit of a broken play, and I believe it's fumbled away.
Yeah,
the Junior Mustangs have recovered the ball. And you're right, it's number 33, Tayshawn Duncan with the turnover.
Tayshawn Duncan's been all over the defense again. Shoots the gap, a little bit of a bobbled snap in there. The running back doesn't quite get it clean, and Tayshawn Duncan's disabled there. Now the Mustangs are in an opportunity. If they score here, really for basically the entire first quarter and most of the second quarter, they were dominated by the Stampeders. Another score here, all of a sudden you can take all the momentum away from Burlington, who's played a whale of the first half.
Tayshawn Duncan with the fumble recovery for the Junior Mustangs sends their offense right back onto the field. This one also a bit of a broken play. Spinning off of the original tackle, though, is Ben O'Hara, who had that 39-yard TD pass, and we'll say a bit of a run, too, on the screen to the near side by Leon Doucette. Now, that was with 3:45 remaining in this quarter of play. You got to think, if you're a Burlington fan out there, with 4 minutes remaining before halftime, you had a 6-0 lead over a team that beat you 22-0 in the regular season. Not only with 3:45 is there the 39-yard touchdown by Ben O'Hara, but then Tayshawn Duncan with the fumble recovery less than 20 seconds later puts the Junior Mustangs offense back out there, leading 8-6. So they're going to go right back to O'Hara. O'Hara to the right side, trying to break off of one tackle. Now there's a flag on this one, as it looks like this could be a hold. Now, one of the great two-way players that we should give a shout-out to the Burlington Stampeders, Thomas Leo. Watch Leo in on this play, break through right past Cole Summers and go right after O'Hara.
Yeah, again, Burlington's just doing a really good job of penetrating, of maintaining outside leverage, forcing the Mustangs to try to make a decision, cut it back in where the numbers are. As they declined, it was the procedure actually what they called, so they declined it. Oh, it was a hold that they declined. But
it brings up third down as a result of declining the penalty.
Right, and it's a 5-yard loss anyway, so you're only going to get 5 more yards on the hold, and then that way you lose the down.
get the ball hopefully back in your possession quicker.
3-minute warning, Johnny.
And that's right, with only a couple minutes remaining here in the first half of play from Citywide in this OFL semifinal action, you're hoping they get your offense back out there and potentially a lead before the halftime break. Doucette with the wind beginning to gust, gonna air this one deep. It is caught! Edwards, past the 20, past the 10, all the way, touchdown, Junior Mustangs. A 50-yard hookup between Leon Doucette and Makai Edwards.
Kai Edwards playing the slot position. He's just running a post. And this is just, I'm surprised because Burlington's been getting pressure on the Mustangs. I think they fall for the run fake, and all of a sudden now, when he throws the ball downfield, they're not sure and they lose tracking. It was just a simple post pattern, and Doucette delivers a really nice ball with the wind blowing right in his face.
Yeah, as soon as the wind began to gust, especially going from the western direction, that's across the field from left to right if you're at the quarterback perspective. And yet, a beautifully thrown ball leading Edwards perfectly up the field right between the hash marks with practically nobody to beat. As the snap and the hold is good, the kick is through, but there are a multitude of flags on this play.
I think we've got somebody from Burlington left a little bit early.
So Leon Doucette has all of a sudden woke up. If you consider the fact, now I know one was more of a screen pass, if you will, with blocking schemes up the near sidelines, and that one was a true quarterback bomb. But collectively, those last two plays, 89 yards thrown, 2 touchdowns from Leon Doucette. They've woken up when they were trailing 6-0 with less than 4 minutes remaining before halftime.
Yeah, a slow start for both offensively and defensively for the Mustangs. And again, they've all of a sudden, it's amazing. Each of them has had the turnover now. So you saw early with the Mustangs, they turned it over on their first play. Burlington's turned it over. Both teams have scored off the other people's turnover as well. So that's something also to keep in mind.
So the PAT made by the Junior Mustangs, Daylon Soar, is good. The penalty yard against the Burlington Stampeders is tacked on to the following kick, moving the ball up to the 50-yard line and making the mission that much more difficult for the Stampeders, who now trail by 10. Booting this one deep will be Soar, and this one will get past the red uniforms, diving on top of it just to sort of save possession, if you will, for the Stamps is Jackson Maggio.
Okay, this is a field position killer because they're expecting the short kick, and all of a sudden it takes a hop and starts rolling downfield, and now all of a sudden you're pinned inside the 20-yard line. You got 95 yards to go.
95 yards to go with 2:19 remaining on the citywide clock here in the second quarter of play. Johnny Urban and Ron Forward are happy to take you through this OFL semifinal Pee-wee 12v12 competition. Also have a big shout out to Alex Stoddard, our cameraman, and Adam Melrose, our producer. Got to give a big shout out to Eric Ajax Communications, Mama's Hot Italian Sandwich, as well as Battlefield Rentals for allowing us the Skyjack to put our excellent cameraman Alex Stoddard on, mind you, and to get these incredible angles that you're seeing right now from Citywide. And again, thank you for tuning in to Junior Mustangs TV. Hopefully you're liking, sharing, and subscribing to us. Ron likes you, I like you, like us too. As the quarterback snaps the ball, going to hand this one as they're going to sweep it over to the left side are the Stampeders, led by Jack Safaridis. Now, Safaridis was the one that really blew up that first drive for the offense, if you will, for the Burlington Stampeders when they got all the way down to the 5-yard line after a Safaridis catch and run. But this sweep, I think, is going to, come back to haunt Burlington.
Yeah, I think this is an illegal. It's hands to the face.
Against
illegal.
the Junior Mustangs.
Yeah, I don't understand that because, blow to the head.
Okay.
So that's what they're saying.
And that's an automatic first down.
Yeah, it's 15 yards, illegal contact, blow to the head. So what they're saying, or basically what they're doing, is there can't be any initial contact with the head. Okay, your initial contact with a ball carrier cannot be anywhere in the head in the head region. A lot of times, with these kids, you get different sizes and everything else. It's hard to do it. It's not really intentional, but it does happen. So, that's why you see that penalty more often at the younger levels.
And I was just going to say, imperative to stress it at these younger levels to teach these kids the right way to play this game. As back at the helm for the Stampeders is Carson Metcalf. Metcalf's going to throw this one. The ball is completed, and they have some real estate down that far sideline. I believe that's, again, their two-way star, and Thomas Leo, if I'm not mistaken, number 30.
Yeah, there's number 30. They just did that trips formation, that step-off screen. Mustangs tried to shoot the gap on the inside and missed the number who it was. You can see it right here. The outside linebacker right there just doesn't quite get there in time. He's just got to play a little bit closer to the hip of the ball carrier rather than playing in space, and he might have an opportunity to take that to the house.
Yeah, you see Ben O'Hara, too, blitzing sort of off of the near edge and then sort of pump the gas the second he realized, okay, it's not even going to my side of the field. As this will bring up a situation here for the Burlington Stampeders, who trail by 10 with their quarterback in Carson Metcalf at the helm. They're going to move trips to the left
Watch
side.
the tight end on the near side.
Yeah,
here,
there's
John.
one lone target. They're going to throw this ball. It is caught, and once again, breaking off of one tackle, moving up the field, having a couple blocks. It's a first down. It'll move the chains for the Stampeders as they find themselves close to the 55-yard line.
Again, exact same play that we're doing, you know. It's that step-off screen, and it's a long handoff because that's thrown behind them. So they're giving them the opportunity. They're trying to get the ball out into space with their bigger kids, make the first guy miss, make the second guy miss, and it turns into a 12-yard gain on that. Smart coaching.
If you're the Stampeders, though, Ron, you got a $1:40 left on the clock. Mind you, under Canadian rules, that can feel like an eternity. How do you map out the game plan here, knowing that you still need 57 yards to pay her?
Well, I think you keep doing with what you're doing. You're setting them up here, and I'm telling you that tight end release is going to be coming sooner or later.
So they move the trips once again. They're going to throw this one deep, incomplete pass. I thought a potential interception opportunity there for Nathan Sims is trying to make out the intended target on this play.
See, they did it to the near side of the field, and what I'm saying is the backside tight end's wide open as well. He's uncovered. But that time you see the tight end releases right off the line of scrimmage, and they show that step-off screen. They're trying to get him on the fade. That's what they got him with earlier in that game.
Second down coming up for the Stampeders, who again had a 6-0 lead with 3:27 remaining in the opening quarter of play thanks to a healthy drive capped off by a 2-yard run from Anthony Tabaro. But since then, especially late here in the second quarter,
jet sweep.
It's been all London Junior Mustangs. Now the jet sweep is fumbled away. The Junior Mustangs recover, and my, oh my, it's so nice he did it twice. Tayshawn Duncan with his second fumble recovery of the game.
He strips it right here and then recovers it as well. So we're carrying the ball. We talked about the cold weather. Sometimes the kids don't carry the ball the same way as they do in the summer. You know, you play with shorter arms and everything. Great job just right on the tip of the ball and just ripping it out right here. Coach Melrose would have been so proud of that one right there.
Andile Payne had an opportunity to grab the ball, but it is the second fumble recovery of this contest for Tayshawn Duncan, and once again he springs his offense back onto the field looking to do more damage. 2 run to the line to the far side. The quarterback, Leon Doucette's going to fire this one. It is caught, and with some blocks up the middle, they continue to rumble up the field. It's a first down and a little bit more for the Junior Mustangs.
Number 57 playing the tight end position. Max Weber, watch him right here, okay? Tight end releases, boom, right there. Again, that slot position, they went to that trips look, and he does a good job of it's just that uncoverable route, John, that we've talked about so many times at this level. If you're going to run an out and hit that, it's so much space, and it's too much for a kid to cover from the linebacker position.
The Max Weber reception puts his team all the way up to Burlington's 31-yard line. Once again, similar formation, empty backfield for Doucette's going to fire this one off the fingertips this time of Ben O'Hara, and they had to be really careful as almost jumping the route there is Cole Scott. Watch it here on the Mama's Hot Italian Sandwich replay.
Cole Scott's licking his chops right here. He knew that was coming.
That's a pick six.
That's a perfect defensive play. That's how you got to read that. You see it, and right there you shoot the inside. That's pick six material if that ball's thrown a little bit higher for him.
Yeah, if he grabs it, there's nobody in a gray uniform that's going to catch up to him from his own 40-yard line.
And that would be such a momentum swinger.
Yeah, a 70-yard pick six with his team down by 10, but instead the Junior Mustangs offense stays out there. Doucette this time with a pitch to O'Hara. O'Hara breaks off of one tackle, marches up the field, down the far sideline, past the 25-yard line, marked down at the 23, and I believe he'll be shy of the first down by a yard or two, but third down coming up.
Again, you live by the blitz, you die by the blitz here. The blitzer's coming, he's got him in the backfield. Now all of a sudden there's no flow coming over the top, and that's the safety making the play all the way from the middle of the field.
Junior Mustangs playing with house money when you consider it's been back-to-back fumbles that has sprung their offense loose on these last two drives. Under a minute remaining here from Citywide in the second quarter of play, up by 10. Winner moves on to the OFL final here in the Pee Wee 12v12 scene. As it's Doucette taking the snap, another handoff to O'Hara. O'Hara off to the right side, trying to break through a couple red uniforms. Only needed a couple yards and got it. It moves the chains. First down, London.
Yeah, and then immediately they're going to call a timeout. So they got the change moved and everything else, but you're starting to get to the point. Again, this is a good time. The Burlington Stampeders don't blitz that time, and the Mustangs were able to get a little bit of penetration up on the edge here a little bit. And first man miss, second man miss. Good job of wrapping up, but again, that's contact 6 yards downfield then.
Yeah, Anthony Tabaro, he's another one of those two-way players, along with Thomas Leo, that seems to be pulling double duty all game long in a red uniform. Coming off of the timeout, the Junior Mustangs have officially entered Mama's Hot Italian Sandwich territory, the red zone, if you will, Ron. What would be your game plan if you're Adam Summers or George Parakaitis or Matthew Sleeger, the coaching staff here for the Junior Mustangs?
I like that post pattern. I like to try and take a shot right now. You got 18 seconds left to go in the half here. If you can show that inside run and get that post pattern going, that's kind of what I'm thinking here.
18 seconds remains here in this second quarter of play, and a big shout outs, of course, to Mama's Hot Italian Sandwich, as we are in the Mama's Hot Italian Sandwich red zone for the Junior Mustangs coming off of this timeout. As once again, going into that shotgun, I don't know what you call this formation. I want to call it a pro set, but as soon as I do, they break off. And this time, they'll follow suit, breaking off from the pro set formation. Low snap, settled down by the quarterback, flushed out on a sack attempt, and refusing to go down right away, put into the spin cycle, and eventually saying, no, you're not my dirty laundry, was Quentin Douglas, as eventually he tackles him down to the ground.
Well, I think they were trying to hit that post pattern again like we talked about, but there's no play action. Again, Burlington's sending more guys than they've got blockers. And number 90, the other linebacker,
they lose just 10 yards on that sack from Quentin Douglas.
As we're probably down to the last play or two of the half here, John.
8 seconds remaining, and with the clock ticking down now, I'm wondering if the Junior Mustangs just take a knee here and go into the halftime break up by 10. When you consider this, they were trailing by 6 with less than 4 minutes remaining here in the first half of play. The last play of the opening half is going to be a handoff here to Sam Trupish. Trupish grabs off of one block, tries to move past the 20-yard line, eventually being tackled down, though, I believe, by Sal Maggio, and that does it for the opening half of play here from Citywide. As we go quickly to the Air Kajak Communications box score, 3:27 remaining in the opening quarter of play. It was a brilliant drive by the Burlington Stampeders, capped off by Anthony Tabaro with a 2-yard TD run, and it remained 6-0 after they failed on the convert after the touchdown from Tabaro. The Stampeders held on to that 6-0 lead until 3:45 remaining in the second quarter of play. That's when Leon Doucette would find Ben O'Hara on a screen to the near side. Excellent blocking up the field would spring him 39 yards to pay dirt, and that would Dylan Soar, mind you, PATs, I guess I should say, made it an 8-6 game. Then a fumble recovered by Tayshawn Duncan. One of 2 fumbles recovered by him in the opening half of play would send the Junior Mustangs offense back onto the field. And with 2:19 remaining before halftime, Makai Edwards received a 50-yard pass right between the hash marks for the second TD pass of the game from Leon Doucette to equal our 16-6 scoreboard. Ron, quickly your thoughts before we head off to the halftime break.
Really, it was a tale of into the wind, 2 different teams kind of showing up. Burlington really dominated the first quarter, kind of caught the Mustangs off guard a little bit formation-wise. We're bringing a lot of pressure. We've seen that throughout the game. And then all of a sudden, on a zone read, you're able to make the first guy miss, the second guy miss, and you're off to the races. 2 scores later, the Mustangs have really taken control of this game.
Does the momentum continue in the second half for the junior Mustangs, or can Burlington flip the switch that they started off this game off on the right foot but saw it slip away in the final 4 minutes of the second quarter? For Ron Forwarda, I am John Urban. 16-6 is the score for the junior Mustangs here in the OFL semifinals as we head off to the halftime break. Welcome back to Citywide here on your Saturday afternoon, as it is the Burlington Stampeders taking on the Junior Mustangs. Now, if you recall, it was the Burlington Stampeders receiving the ball to start this game, meaning they're going to kick it off here in the third quarter of action, down by 10. And Ron Forwarda, this was a Burlington Stampeders team that had a 6-0 lead with 3:27 remaining in the opening quarter of play, thanks to an Anthony Tabaro TD run. But since then, especially late in the second quarter of play, it's been all Junior Mustangs as they'll pick this one off the turf. It's Cole Summers, though, wisely just falling on top of the biscuit at the 40-yard line.
And the other thing to note, the weather has changed here. It is raining, significantly raining. It's coming down sideways. Turnovers are going to be a huge factor here in the second half.
We already saw 3 turnovers in the opening half of play, including 2 fumble recoveries from Tayshawn Duncan. I mean, might have to consider him for the holy cannoli play of the game. At least one of those fumbles, Ron, because 2 fumble recoveries. When does a defender ever get to say that?
Well, yeah, the second one was really impressive because that was a strip and fumble.
And fumble recovery. As again, 1st and 10 for the Junior Mustangs. It's a handoff right up the middle. Go the Stangs. Stutter stepping his way around a defender is Ben O'Hara. He'll be shy of the first down, but just about a yard or two to bring up 2nd and 2.
Just an inside zone play here. Ben O'Hara's nice and patient. Again, they're bringing that blitz. That time it's picked up by the Mustangs, and this is what I was talking about earlier in the game. When you're sending your blitz and you're sending your second level players, if you make the first man miss, all of a sudden there's a lot of real estate.
2nd and 3 for the Junior Mustangs. And again, a 39-yard pass to Ben O'Hara and a 50-yard pass to Makai Edwards, both from the quarterback Leon Doucette, to give their team a 16-6 lead at the halftime break. No out-of-town scoreboard, unfortunately, to update you in the other semifinal between the undefeated 8-0 Hamilton Junior Tiger Cats hosting the 5-3 Guelph Junior Griffins that had a 10 a.m. kickoff to it, Ron, just an hour before this one got on our way, as the rain continues to trickle down here as it's run right up the gut, a first down and more, trying to scamper their way through. I believe that was Blake House, if I'm not mistaken, number 12 on the damage.
Yeah, number 12, just again, same type of play design as we had last time. Here you can see Burlington's not sending the pressure this time. The Mustangs are able to block it up quite well. Good outside pressure, the inside little handoff, and again, Burlington's overcommitting to the outside run, and the Mustangs have made the adjustment, and they're starting to run a little bit more inside.
I like the football general mentality of Leon Doucette, the quarterback, after pitching that ball off, kind of immediately looked up for his blocking assignment. Here he'll take a low snap, hand the ball off yet again. They go over to the left side of the field, trying to break off of one tackle, but can't do it as Nathan Sims. Great defensive effort by the Stampeders. I believe leaving the charge this time is Tyler Shaw.
Yeah, Tyler Shaw, number 9, playing the outside linebacker position with the 2-back spot. Does a good job. You can see maintaining outside leverage. Good job wrapping it up. Cleaned up by number 17. Good job by the Stampeders on the defense there. But again, gain of 2 yards on that.
As the battle of field positioning will be crucial, with the wet stuff starting to trickle down from the skies here on your early Saturday afternoon in the Forest City here in southwestern Ontario. 2 run to the line for Doucette. He'll take the snap, hand this one off to O'Hara. O'Hara to the right side, misses one tackle, trying to spring his way to the far sidelines in front of his own bench. Tries to stutter step his way back in, broke a couple Stampeder hooves along the way, and eventually dropped at the 30-yard line. A gain of almost 20 yards. First down.
And again, Burlington brings that pressure, that inside pressures, which is what they do in all game here, and the Mustangs are able to block it up this time. And now all of a sudden you've got, again, nobody at the second level. The first man missed. This is really impressive right here. Right there on the turf.
Not only got Connor Ferguson, but got Sal Maggio to both break their ankles at the same time. And after he missed the original tackle from Anthony Tabaro, you knew he was going to do some damage, but I didn't expect him to do that much damage on the 20-plus yard gain. The ball's placed at the 31-yard line. Doucette awaits the snap in the shotgun position. He's going to send at least one to the line, 2 weapons to his right side. Hands this one off. They spring right up the middle, skipping off of a tackle. A bit of a low hit will stagnate the efforts this time from Max Weber.
Well, Max Weber, again, Burlington brings the pressure. Mustangs are able to, they fixed their blocking a little bit where they're letting the outside guy go, but they're picking up the inside blitzers. They're picking them up quite well. And now all of a sudden there's little creases, little seams in there. It's only 2 or 3 yards, but that's not the -5, the -6 yards that we were seeing earlier in the game.
Pandolfi, Spano, Keskis, along with Dawson and Niles, Montu Peters and Dorsman, just some of the, leaders, if you will, on that defensive line for Burlington, as this is a handoff again to O'Hara, who sprung left and banked right, goes right into the jaw's mouth on that far sideline past the 25-yard line. I think he'll be shy of the first down, but he'll only need a couple yards here with third down coming up.
So they've identified the guy that they can not really pick on, but who, if you're going to let someone come free, you don't want it to be number 17. It's a defensive tackle. So now they've picked up that inside blitz, and they're saying our running back can make your defensive tackle in space miss, and Ben O'Hara's done that twice. And again, another good yard, 3 more yards. We're looking at about a 3rd and 4.
Sal Maggio was the one at the end of that play with a fierce tackle for the Stampeders, we should add, as again, it's the quarterback Doucette right behind the line of center, taking the snap. Another dose of Ben O'Hara, again to the right side, again tries to break in. This time there's going to be a penalty flag attached to this play, as I believe he was just shy of the first down anyway, so we'll see what this laundry eventually calculates to.
Well, by the spot of the foul, it's either going to be a hold, and that's exactly what they're going to do. So it's a holding, unfortunately, against the Mustangs there. And
if you are
back 10 yards.
If you are Burlington, though, it would have been 4th and shy. Do you just decline the penalty and expect...
No, you got to move them back 10 yards.
Down by 10, and again, this was a Stampeders team that had a 6-0 lead early. Now, one thing we should add, when they got that touchdown, a 2-yard run again by Anthony Tabarro, they did not try to kick for the 2 points, which is what you get for making it between the uprights here in the Pee Wee 12v12 scene in the OFL. Instead, they just tried to go for the conventional 1-point conversion, which I assume was either going to be a run or a passing play, and they failed to convert. Since then, though, Dylan Soar has soared, if you will, with 2 PATs, accumulating 4 points along the way for the Junior Mustangs, which is crucial in this 10-point lead. Doucette fakes the pitch to the right, throws it to his left. That's Sims on the reception. But to be honest with you, they need about 14 yards on the play. They'll get maybe 3 to bring up 4th and long.
So this is just a half-pack swing, or it's almost like a screen pass. You can see him setting up here, and then just falls into space. If he takes that outside, I think he's got an opportunity. But he's turning it back into 8 or 9 defenders rather than the 2. 4th and 11 here. It looks like the Mustangs are going to go for it.
I'm noticing some players wearing hoods, Ron. Number 1, I didn't think you could do that. Number 2, would you wear a hood given the conditions that are out there right now?
I am wearing a hood.
No, I meant if you were on the field, silly. As this one's deep, a potential interception opportunity, incomplete pass. Having an opportunity with Sal Maggio, and to be honest with you, on this last drive for the Junior Mustangs, been really impressed with Sal Maggio's defense. That time he breaks up a would-be catch from Dylan Soar, who we've been talking about making, respectable duties on the PATs to give his team 4 points so far out of the 16 they have on the board.
Yeah, and this is a really good defensive play. Again, I think is a little bit behind. I think the wind played a factor into that one, as we see an injured Stampeder on the field there.
Yeah, down to a knee, not being able to get up on his own accord, so they'll wait for the trainers to come in. I believe that's number 80, Quentin Niles, who's down around the 30-yard line. And again, this is a Burlington team that started off the regular season 5-0, undefeated after beating Waterloo, Guelph, Brantford, Niagara, and Cambridge, but then went sort of on the flip side after a 5-game winning streak to start the year. Lost back-to-back games in Heartbreakers too, a 12-8 game at Hamilton against the Junior Tiger Cats, and they would lose to these Junior Mustangs in their own barn, 22-0 back on October 14th. Now, Ron, they would right the ship before coming into the day, beating the Lions in Cambridge, doubling them up 28-14 on October 19th, as we see a good sign being able to walk off the field on his own accord as Quentin Niles, and hopefully after 3 plays we see him come back into this game.
Yeah, he's been a real force for Burlington. He's been one of the there's been 4 or 5 really outstanding players. He's been one of them for my vote there.
Now again, a 6-2 record throughout the 2019 OFL regular season here in the fall for the Stampeders in the Pee Wee 12v12 scene. 210 points collected over that time against their opponents, and 82 given up by the Stampeders defense. As again, they're taking on the 7-1 Junior Mustangs. They're going to go to a run play. They're taking it to the big man. He's got to hang on to that ball. Look at trying to open up the tuna can openers. Cole Summers didn't go in at all for the tackle. Watch number 7 here just completely trying to attack the ball.
Well, first man wrap up, second man go for the ball, and that's what
he does
doing.
just that.
That's exactly what you try. That's what you try to teach them. Cause havoc, cause turnovers, because then it's a sudden change of possession. And again, it's a mindset thing. When you get, like, Cole Summers is a ball hawker. You know, we've seen him in the summer, interceptions and fumbles, but he's going after the biscuit today.
We mentioned, though, 22-0 was the final score for London over Burlington in the Stampeders barn the last time these two teams hooked it up. Stampeders are coming off of a 28-14 win. The Junior Mustangs coming off of a 59-0 win over the Niagara Generals. Yet, here we are, late in the third quarter of play in a 16-10 ball game in the semifinals.
Fumble.
As the quarterback is drilled, it's picked up by the Junior Mustangs. That's Ben O'Hara past the 10, the 5, end zone, touchdown, Junior Mustangs. There are no flags on the play, and after taking a wallop right here, Ben O'Hara picks the ball up, and I believe that's going to go down as a 25-yard fumble recovery touchdown.
Yeah, 35-yard line. It's like you can see pressure's coming right there. He gets bumped. It's not the Tom Brady tuck rule. The ball was not coming back in. That just falls out of his hand. Good pressure. I missed who hit him. Might have been number 33 for the Mustangs there, John.
With 4:59 remaining here in the third quarter of play, we get our first score of the second half, and it comes defensively from a gentleman that has a 39-yard touchdown offensively, and that's Ben O'Hara with the fumble recovery. And here goes Soar, who is now 3 for 3 on the PAT. And why is that so big, Ron? Well, not just because you lost the championship by a PAT, but because in the Pee Wee scene, they're worth 2. So he's had 6 points put up on the board in this game.
Yeah, 6 points being put up on the game, as we're going to see Johnny not exit the field politely at the end of the game. Thank you again for reminding me
I
of
just
that.
tell hey, I didn't do anything in that game. I mean,
well, I was off crutches that game,
that's
so
right.
I
That's
didn't
right.
do much either. But that was one of the first games I was actually not on crutches this year. But kicking is. Everyone harps on kickers. Everyone says kickers are not real athletes. They're not real football players. Hey, look, I was a kicker. I'm telling you that they're real athletes. They're real football players. But nobody appreciates a kicker until you don't have one. And then all of a sudden, you'd kill to have one.
That's right. And most teams, I think even the Chicago Bears in the NFL, they be screaming for a kicker right about now. Numerous teams, it's such a crucial position as this line drive kick is caught and returned close to the 50-yard line by the Stampeders and Cole Angerilli. And Angerilli, that's the first time we've got to mention his name today, I believe also drew a penalty yardage on this play. This could be going even further up the field for Burlington.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what the flag is. I'm not sure.
Or is this coming back?
I don't know if it was a block. I'm looking for the call there. As you can see, it was a late flag though, but I don't know what the call was.
It's going up against the Stampeders.
So it's a block in the back.
Interesting that all the scoring in this game has come within the final 5 minutes of each quarter. In the first quarter, it took till 3:27 remaining for Burlington to get the first touchdown of this game. With 3:45 remaining in the half, it was the Junior Mustangs getting their first lead, 8-6, and then literally a minute and 26 seconds later added to it with a 50-yard strike between Edwards and Doucette. And now with 4:59 remaining here in the third quarter, Ben O'Hara with a fumble recovery from 30-plus yards out to increase the Junior Mustangs' lead. Oh yeah, add the Dylan Soar PAT. It's now 24-6 against the Stampeders when it was the Stampeders' run with a 6-0 lead after the first quarter of play.
That's a third score-wise if the Stampeders can't kick extra points, and that's huge at this point.
Well, and I also think to the fact that we see the Stampeders go on a run here up the middle, 2 fumble recoveries from Tayshawn Duncan.
Yeah.
And then that last fumble recovery Again, we didn't quite make out the name of that gentleman for the Junior Mustangs on the last play. Oh, yeah, it was O'Hara. O'Hara with the fumble recovery touchdown. So we saw at least those 2 fumble recoveries from Tayshawn Duncan result immediately in at least 1 touchdown. And then O'Hara's results in a touchdown. So that's 2 out of the 3 fumbles in this game from Burlington that have come back to haunt them for 16 points.
Is Duncan number 33 for the Mustangs?
That's correct.
Okay, he caused the fumble on that as well. That last one.
Oh, wow.
On the hit.
So have yourself a day, and if you're the defensive coordinator for this team, you're going to think about keeping Duncan in your back pocket for the championship game.
Look who just comes through again.
Wow. Speak of the devil, and he shall appear, Ron. It is Tayshawn Duncan yet again, slow to get off the turf, and I don't blame him, as Carson Metcalf. He did not see the big man coming off of the near edge, and Tayshawn Duncan.
Yeah, he's having himself a game, but unblocked right off the edge, and wow, this kid's having himself a game. Just unbelievable pressure.
3:40 remains now in the third quarter of play. A 3rd and 6 coming up here.
The most impressive play that he's made for me, and not that it's hard to make 1 or 2, but it was the strip and fumble recovery in the second half. That really, because it was still it was a convert game at that point, and that kind of changed the dynamic of it.
Yeah, back-to-back turnovers, back-to-back fumble recoveries, back-to-back by Tayshawn Duncan, as a sea of red moves and a sea of great obliges that, and what do you know, a bunch of orange penalty flags come out as a result.
See, Burlington's upset because they're going to get offside, but I think the Mustangs actually drew them.
But you mentioned it, Ron, how the defense has that, a little bit of leeway, but as soon as the offender moves, they can move.
Right, but you can't move and make the offensive player mirror you, because then that goes against you. And this is exactly what the call is. This is offside against the Mustangs. It's the 5-yard cheap way, and it's the first down.
Yeah, they, by my eyes, I thought they had 6 yards to go. According to the official, they had 4 yards to go, so the free 5 yards moves the chains now, with the ball at the 48-yard line of the Stampeders, now trailing by 18 points late in this third quarter play in an OFL semifinal game, which they had a 6-0 lead late in the first quarter and hung on to that till late in the second quarter of play. The quarterback and Carson Metcalf taking the snap from behind the line of center, hands this one off to the big man right up the middle. And something that was working at the beginning of this game on their first couple drives is simply not working now, as you see Anthony Tabaro, the gentleman that has their lone touchdown in this game, get stuffed in his tracks right up the middle.
Well, it's gaining 3 or 4 yards, and to be honest with you, if you're getting 3 or 4 yards on the dive,
4-down football,
that's what you need. So like the philosophy is the same. But the problem is, when you're like under 3 minutes left in the third quarter, you don't have time to play that small ball kind of thing. You got to get scores, and you got to put together a drive, and you need a turnover, but you got to score, and you got to score fairly quickly because you're running out of possessions.
So it'll bring up 2nd and 6 now for the guys in red and the Stampeders from Burlington. Once again, they're going to go right up the gut, and once again, maybe they get 2 yards on this play to bring up 3rd and 5.
This is number 19 for the Mustangs, doing a really good job of sitting his feet down, he's playing defensive end here. Watch him set the edge, get off the block here. We're going to see him. He's going to set the edge, gets off the block, fills. That's a great one-man job there by number 19 for the Mustangs.
Yeah, got a great name too, Andal Payne. So he brought the pain on that one.
And all the pain train. That's what he should be known for going forward.
That's right, and it is the defense that wins you championships. Now again, Stampeders with their 6-2 record during the regular season, their defense only conceded 82 points in the regular season, but the Junior Mustangs are on 60 less points, 22 given up by the Junior Mustangs. And as I mentioned, coming into this game, they had not given up any score to anybody since Friday, September 13th in that 14-8 loss to Hamilton. And their regular season in their 7-1 record, 6 of those 7 victories were shutout victories. 47-0 over Niagara, 59-0 over Waterloo, 54-0 over Brantford, 38-0 over Cambridge, 22-0 over Burlington, and 59-0 over Niagara. Third down play. A big one here for the Burlington offense. They're going to pitch this one to the near side. Trying to get some blocks to the near side of the field will be Sean Snookful-Lammy. And coming right into our living rooms right now on this third down play. Great defense by the Junior Mustangs to bring up 4th down.
Well, it's going to be 4th down. He's at the 54-yard line, so he's going to be about 5 yards short of the first down. They're just trying to do that toss play again, as we see a Burlington Stampeder player down on this, unfortunately. Again, they're just trying to outside the zones there. And again, what they're trying to do is they show the crack down, so they're able to seal it. We can see it here. 84 is the wide receiver here. He's going to come straight down to try to show that crack. And again, they're trying to get extra leverage. Good job right there. Unfortunately, he's the gentleman that's down.
Yeah, that's Safaridis. If we can get the replay one more time from our producer, Mr. Adam Melrose, is the Mama Hot Italian Sandwich replay. And keep a key eye on number 84 here as he comes in on the bottom of your screen and goes right into number 88, I believe. That's Nathan Reeds of the Junior Mustangs, and stays down as a result. And to be honest with you, Safaridis is a major part of the Swiss Army knife, if you will, of the offense of the Burlington Stampeders. It was his massive 30-plus yard catch, if you recall, back in the first quarter that put them in the Mama's Hot Italian Sandwich red zone, which was capped off by that 2-yard touchdown run from Anthony Tabaro to open up the scoring 6-0 for Burlington. And since then, we haven't really heard a whisper of Stampeders offense, as we're sitting at a 24-6 scoreboard here with, I believe, 98 seconds left in the third quarter of play.
Yeah, and really, it was the early part of the first quarter for me really was dominated by Burlington offensively and defensively. The Mustangs have since about the 4-minute mark in the second quarter kind of started making a few adjustments here and there. It was the big zone read by Leon Dessette earlier that kind of gave the Mustangs that first real big boost that they had. And that kind of started changing the tone. The Mustangs got a little bit of confidence, turnover, score, turnover again, and that was kind of the point. The second turnover, as we see the young man up under his own power, that's really great to see.
Yeah, Jack Safaridis is going to go off to the bench on his own power, which we always want to see here at Citywide or any facility where we're calling these games at. And again, this is OFL semifinal action. The winner moves on to Brantford next week with the championship and all the glory, all that jazz on the line, Ron. And for the London Junior Mustangs, it would be an incredible way to enter it when you consider this. Again, 5 straight shutouts to round out the regular season, but they got us scared at the beginning of this game. They gave up the first touchdown, but since then, the defense went right back to being immaculate.
Yeah, it's been really good. As you know, I don't want to belittle the situation, but they got the Mustangs for a blow to the head on number 84. He kind of led the contact with his head. I didn't really want to, like when I'm watching the replay, he kind of lunged at him and he hit the Mustang player with his head, but they actually flagged the Mustangs for the illegal contact to the head, the 15-yard penalty.
Yeah, we're going to take a look at it one more time on the Mama's Hot Italian Sandwich replay.
He totally leads with his head.
I would say Nathan Reeds doesn't necessarily do anything out of the woodworks that would make you think, okay, he was trying to do something nasty on that play. Regardless, it brings up a first down from the 41-yard line. The ball is snapped. They're going to throw this one back. That's a live ball. Trying to have to go back to get it. Diving on top of it, but there's going to be a battle for it, and they're going to say Junior Mustangs ball. Wow. Trying to hunt it down was Sean Snook Falami, but Falami couldn't get it, and unfortunately for him, it goes for a loss.
So yeah, they've been playing with that kind of play all along here. They've been playing with fire a little bit here. High pass on there, and then all of a sudden you see the first contact. I can't quite see who the number was that got him there at the end, who recovered it. But again, that's another big turnover. As the war of attrition, we're starting to see the injury tent pile up. There's 3 or 4 Burlington Stampeders in there as well.
Goes down as the 4th fumble of the game for the Burlington offense, though. 2 fumble recoveries in the opening half of play from Tayshawn Duncan alone, and then the Baron O'Hara 30-plus yard fumble recovery as another big play for the Junior Mustangs, rumbling all the way down to the 41-yard line. And this is the second time he's done this today, folks. Leon Doucette, watch him on the fake handoff. The whole right side of the field opens up, and Leon Doucette goes for a gander.
And that's what started the whole momentum shift. That play, the zone read, because they're crashing down so hard, play the running back all of a sudden. there's nobody there, and you get to the next level. The Mustangs are starting to really pull away with this game.
By the way, big shout out to those tuning in from Cincinnati, Ohio. I got a chance to go down to Ohio and take in some Reds baseball. Shout outs to Joey Votto and all the Canadian content, but a beautiful city, and we have some viewers from the good old Cincinnati, Ohio tuning in just from the river from Kentucky. As this is going to be a handoff for the Junior Mustangs. Blake House will be stuffed down to the right side to bring up a second down and long.
Yeah, so again, just they're trying to get that inside zone play going there. This time Burlington does a good job of maintaining it. They motion the linebacker over. Nowhere to go that time. Good penetration by Burlington. They played it well that time.
Thank you for taking us into your homes, either on your phones or on your tablets, as you hear the horn for the third quarter. As you are watching Junior Mustangs TV live on YouTube, please like and share us and subscribe. And don't forget in the live chat, if you want to tell us where you're tuning in from, we'll try and give you a shout out too. As this one is snapped to Doucette. Doucette's going to hand it off. Great penetration. And that's not the first time we've named him. Cole Scott. And, Scott may have gotten caught for that one penalty for his aggression, but it's that hard-nosed football aggression that's made him so successful throughout the majority of this game.
He's been really the catalyst to the Burlington defense. That middle linebacker, you see him creeping this time. They don't block him, and he comes right through unblocked, throws him down for a big loss in the third down here as the final play of the third quarter, John.
Yeah, that concludes the third quarter as we go to the Air K-Jax Communications box score. Again, in the first quarter of play, Burlington had a 6-0 lead thanks to Anthony Tabaro. Then in the second quarter of play, Leon Doucette with back-to-back jacks with a 39 and 50-yard TD passes to O'Hara and Edwards respectively. And then the lone marker from that third quarter of play at the 4:59 remaining here in the third quarter was Ben O'Hara, his second touchdown of the game. This one a fumble recovery from 30-plus yards out.
Yeah, and again, that was, that's kind of, I think that might be the icing on the cake one. There's been a couple big plays as we're looking at about a 3rd and 20, I'd say, John.
3rd and country mile as Doucette takes the snap, looks up, going to dump this one over to the left side. The pass is caught. I believe that's O'Hara, stutter stepping, going to the far sidelines. He'll be tackled and smothered by a sea of red in front of the Burlington bench.
It's a hold, though.
Yeah, I was just going to say, there is a flag on this one, and immediately you're right, Ron Forward. It is a hold against the home team.
Again, once you learn that I'm always right, life goes along better. We got to throw those little digs in there every once in a while. But again, just a screenplay. I would imagine Burlington's actually going to decline this and take the down because you're still looking at a 4th down and about 17 here. Oh, no, they are going to move him back. Interesting call.
So you are down by 18 if you're the Stampeders, and let's face it, I believe it was their second offensive drive of the game where they scored the touchdown on, again, a Jack Safaritis catch that got him down to the 5-yard line, capped off by an Anthony Tabaro 2-yard touchdown run. Now, again, they didn't try to kick the PAT, which would have given them 2 points. They went for a conventional Pee-wee PAT, and unfortunately they failed to convert. So they remained 6-0 all the way into that second quarter. Back-to-back touchdowns, as I was referring to from Leon Doucette, kind of broke it open into a 16-6 game. And then again, late in the third quarter, 4:59, we got a defensive touchdown from the Junior Mustangs. It's Ben O'Hara with the fumble recovery. This will bring up again 3rd, and we'll call it a millennial. As in the pro set breaking off is the offense led by Leon Doucette. It's a low snap, settled down by the quarterback, and I don't mind that play at all, Ron.
That's not bad.
Yeah, he just realizes, you know what?
You're protecting the ball.
I don't want to bleed out here. That's right.
Yeah, that's all you're doing. That's smart heads-up football here. As the better Melrose has now come into the house.
That's right.
Just got to throw that one out there. You got my digging John. Now you digging on Adam there.
Boss is here.
That's right. Yeah. The boss is here, not Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah, no, the boss is coming. We better look busy. So.
So 4th down coming up here, and it looks like all the way back around the 45-yard line for the Stampeders. And awaiting this kick from Ben O'Hara, but they're going to avoid him. It goes off of the fingertips of the Stampeder, who falls on top of it back at the 50-yard line. That's Sal Maggio. So Maggio had the ball sort of play him a little bit here, Ron, but he makes up for it with the effort.
Yeah, this is something that we try to tell kids not to do, is reach up over your head.
But with the wind and the conditions, I'll give him a break.
And like I said, I'm not going to harp on him. He does a good job of recovering the ball as we got like 10 minutes and 20 seconds left to go in the fourth quarter here. And it's not raining as much, but you can see it a little bit more, John, because it's a little bit thicker and a little bit whiter.
Yeah, well, hopefully that snow can stay away at least for another week or two, Ron, to keep my sanity, as the ball will be at the 50-yard line. And for the Stampeders, who trail here by 18 points, do you mix things up, or just try and go back to, the well you saw in the second drive where they kind of went for that run attack, but found an open bomb to Jack Safaridis that got him into the Mama's Hot Italian sandwich red zone?
Well, I think, you're getting to the point where you've kind of showed your hand with what you think you could get them on, and the Mustangs have made their adjustment. You just got to go play your game now.
Well, the ball is snapped by their quarterback, who quickly hands this one off, and the Stamps will be lucky to get maybe 2 or 3 yards out of this play, as picking himself off of the turf right now is Anthony Tabaro.
Yeah, one of those kids who's had himself a really good game, but if you're Burlington, you got to do something that you don't necessarily want to do, and that's you're gonna have to throw the ball here or try to get the ball outside.
I've been impressed with Carson Metcalf's arm, though, especially at the 12v12 Pee-wee level. It's just the fact that he's not dealing with the greatest conditions, and he's down by 3 possessions right now in the fourth quarter. So you got to go, and you got to go in a hurry right now, Mr. Metcalf, as he will take the snap. He is going to try and air this one deep. He does have a receiver, and I believe the receiver was bumped into, but no flag on this play. Oh, man, it goes down as an incomplete pass.
It's good to see number 84 back out on the field for the Burlington Stampeders as the intended receiver on that. I'm not sure this is pass interference. This is actually
he's coming
really
back
coverage.
to fight
He's
for the ball.
Back,
yeah.
And both the offensive player and the defensive player both have a right to the ball.
That's right, to the
you
ball.
You can't obstruct the other one, which they don't really do. They're both V-line for the ball. I think that ball was going to be short regardless.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Burlington and if you're watching around the world, you want that call, though, Ron, especially when you saw your team up 6-0 here on the road in the playoffs, looking to make the upset. And it looked like, to be honest with you, a quarter and a half way through this game, I thought, okay, we got an upset in the making here.
Yeah.
And then back-to-back fumbles picked up by Tayshawn Duncan, back-to-back touchdowns thrown by Leon Doucette. Well, it's been the Junior Mustangs ever since then, as the quarterback is going to get sacked, put into the stable, as a plethora of Junior Mustangs swarm Carson Metcalf, including Tayshawn Duncan leading the charge.
Yeah.
Fourth down.
The defensive ends collapse around him this time. You can see it. Both of them right there. Just it's a meeting at the quarterback. And a shout out to Danny Fitzgerald, who will be playing in the Canadian Junior National semifinal tonight for the Beefeaters, a game that we'll have on later on here tonight, John.
Going against the Saskatoon Hilltops, looking for their sixth Pete, of a national championship. Looking for their 9th championship run in the last decade. 9 out of 10 in national championships. Dynasty, I don't think, is a word that even really puts the Saskatoon Hilltops into the proper perspective.
There's dynasty, and then there's what they're doing.
Domination. Yeah, that's right.
And that's kind of like when you saw Laval come into the OUAA.
U sports team. That's right.
Yeah, the CIS level. That 3-4 year where everyone was kind of like, what is this? And it's that total domination. As we see a turnover and downs here, not to belittle, the game that's going on here.
Had the honor of calling Laval's 10th national championship in Laval over the Junior Mustangs last season, and shout outs to not only the Laval Rouge or football program going back to hosting the Vanier Cup this year, but as well as the Western Mustangs, the senior Mustangs, I guess I should call them here on, to try and go back for national glory, as they will take on the Waterloo Warriors in OUA semifinal action at 1 p.m. today here in London, as this one is swept to the near side, but Blake House is tackled from behind. A fierce play by the Stampeders, Zach Benninger, and we haven't really mentioned Benninger's name. He was at the helm, took over actually for Carson Metcalf when the Stampeders got into short-range football near the Junior Mustangs end zone.
Yeah, he's had himself a whale of a game. We haven't called his name a lot, but he's made big play after big play. He's been sniffing around the ball a lot. Trax does a good job. He sees the jet sweep coming, tracks him down all the way from the outside linebacker position, which is a really, really hard thing to do. When you're blocking the jet sweep, you tell them, we're not blocking that backside guy, because if he can catch us, he's a better athlete. Well, in that particular time, he was a better athlete.
Second down play. This time they're going to sweep it over to the left side, and once again, Burlington broke through, but breaking off of the tackle and getting positive yards on this play is Max Weber. Weber continues to rumble up the field, cuts back in, zigzagging and continuing up past the 30, close to the 25. Push it to the max. Max Weber.
Yeah, again, this is just the inside handoff here that turns into an outside handoff. Here comes the pressure. Burlington's been living with it. They pick it up. And then all of a sudden, when you turn that outside run, there's no backside protection. There's no second level pursuit coming across. And you can see what happens. When you live by it, you die by it. It's the old Houston Oilers, And
it could be because they're out of gas. It could be because they're out of momentum, but there was a handful of excuse me tackles on that Max Weber play where he says, yeah, excuse me, I'm just going to keep going through here. As they are going to hand this one off yet again, trying to zigzag his way up the middle, breaking off of a couple tackles. It's Blake House trying to get into the house. Stuffed just shy at about the 2 or 3 yard line. It's a first down run from Blake House. It puts them into the Mama's Hot Italian Sandwich red zone.
Again, it's just blocked up really well. They send the pressure. Missed tackle.
A couple excuse me tackles again.
You're starting to see the kids are starting to play cold. It's cold, it's wet. You're about to go down 4 scores possibly in this game.
You need a big defensive stand here for the Stampeders to stay in this one, as it is Leon Doucette with O'Hara in the backfield. Doucette awaiting the snap. Empty backfield on the pitch play. To the near side, cutting back in, looking for the touchdown. And they're going to mark him just shy. That was Sam Troopish, Super Troopish, trying to get into the end zone.
Sammy Super Troopish. Brother Jed plays on the Bantam team that had, in my estimation, a big upset last night.
20-19.
Shout out to Coach Melrose,
the
Coach
defensive
Bruno
coordinator.
DeSando,
That's right.
Head coach.
That's right.
And again, great game plan they came up with. Did a good job of going into Hamilton on a Friday night and upsetting the Junior Ticats.
So Doucette once again in the gun. 2nd and goal. Hands this one off to O'Hara. O'Hara right up the middle. It's the hat trick for Ben O'Hara. After having a 39-yard TD pass caught, after having a fumble recovery from 30-plus yards out, this time he just runs it in from 2 yards distance. Another touchdown for the Junior Mustangs. Another touchdown for number 4, Ben O'Hara.
Well, let's talk about the fours. There's 4 minutes and 44 seconds left to go in the fourth quarter. Number 4 to put the Mustangs up by 4 scores on the convert.
My brain. And again, we saw every touchdown as Soar is now 4 for 4 in the fourth quarter with 4:44
left
and a 4 major lead. Wow. In the fourth quarter.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing sometimes. As we'll be kicking off from 45.
Oh, the 45. Oh, yeah, not the 44. Oh, no. But
well,
still,
you could move it back if you wanted to,
But talk about having yourself a day. On the defense, if we could have a holy cannoli, we got to split it in half between Ben O'Hara and one of the 3 touchdowns he scored, although I think the fumble recovery has the extra asterisk next to it for pretty special.
Yeah.
But again, I think back to Tayshawn Duncan, those fumble strips, those fumble recoveries. That's what really broke up the Burlington momentum, as they looked like they were going to try and build up their own stampede of sorts in the opening half of play.
Well, I think actually there was a flag on the play. I think the Burlington Stampeders were offside on the. They were going to move it up 5 yards, so they're actually going to kick from the 50-yard line.
But yeah, the
midfield actually.
First scores in the first quarter, 3:27 remaining. Second scores in the second quarter, 3:45 and 2:19 remaining. Third scores in the third quarter, 4:59 remaining. Fourth scores in the fourth quarter, 4:44 remaining. All the damage in this game being done within the final 5 minutes of each quarter.
Yeah, it's kind of like the point where it's that feeling out process, that slugfest, and then you finally get that breakthrough that you needed.
So with 4:44 remaining in the fourth quarter, it is kicked down, and a bit of a loose ball eventually settled down by the Burlington Stampeders. Their offense will go back onto the field around their 20-yard line with just a couple minutes remaining in this OFL semifinal.
Well, Burlington, like I said, they kind of dominated the first quarter in my mind, and really midway through the second quarter, I thought it was really, it was happening. We were both kind of looking at each other going, hey, upset in the making here, possibly. The Mustangs have made a few good, really, adjustments and have somewhat weathered the storm, the cold conditions, the rain. Really good Burlington team. Let's give credit where credit is due. They've played really, really hard. They've balled out. Really, really proud to see these kids fighting to the very end as well.
Yeah, big shout-outs to the Burlington Stampeders, who had a very impressive 6-2 regular season. Started off a perfect 5-0 with wins over Waterloo, Guelph, Brantford, Niagara, and Cambridge. Now, they did have that 2-game losing streak, which featured a 4-point loss in Hamilton against the Junior Ticats, and that 22-0 loss to these Junior Mustangs in their own barn. But again, they went back onto the right foot, the right hoove, if you will, 28-14 in the last game in Week 8 of competition against the Cambridge Lions in Cambridge. As, again, we are here at Citywide. It's Johnny Urban and Ron Forwerda happy to take you through. Big shout-outs to Alex Stoddard, our camera person, and Adam Melrose, our director and producer.
Well, Stephanie's producing right now.
Okay.
Adam's playing with the tent.
It's a Melrose place, regardless. Where's Camden? Where's DJ
Wonderbread?
Resting.
Again, part of that Bantam team that had the good game victory last
if he
night.
didn't get the victory last night, I would not be so easy on him resting right now. But
No.
winners deserve to rest.
Yeah. Winners get wings.
That's right, 322. You really want wings today, Ron?
I had them for Halloween. I told you that.
That's right.
That's the adult
Candy-flavored wings? Like, what are we talking about flavor-wise here?
honey garlic.
Honey garlic. That is the candiest flavor of the wing sauces.
You betcha.
3:07. Time continues to tick away here on the Burlington Stampeders. It will see their 2019 regular season of 6-2, unfortunately, sadly, end here on your Saturday afternoon against the London Junior Mustangs, who will advance to face off either against the undefeated Hamilton Junior Ticats at 8-0, or did Guelph at 5-3 in the regular season pull out the upset? As you see a reception here from Burlington, and they're going to get close to the first down yardage needed. In fact, they only needed a couple yards on third down. They're going to get it. It moves the chains. First down, Burlington.
Yeah, and the winds kind of calm down here. There's something in the sky that looks a little bright, though it's not quite busting through the gray sky.
We also see Jack Redmond. That's Jack Redmond now at the helm. So we saw technically the starting quarterback was Carson Metcalf. We saw Zach Benninger on the short-range situations, and now Jack Redmond, the third QB, if you will, QB3 for the team in red.
Well, it's also good to see, these kids have played hard all year, and again, you lose in the semifinals against a really good Junior Mustang team. There's nothing to keep your head down about. You've had a whale of a season. It's good to see them all getting touches, make sure that everyone gets in the game and sees some minutes.
Jack Redmond will have the handoff right here, as you see on the Mama's Hot Italian Sandwich replay, and Burlington will pick up maybe 2 yards to push it near the 40-yard line. 2:27 now remains on the fourth quarter clock. Again, Johnny Urban, happy to take you through, joined by Ron Forwerda, Stephanie and Adam Melrose, both doing the directing and technical producing. Alex Stoddard on the lift, brought to you by Battlefield Rentals, and we got to thank you for lending us the Skyjack for this OFL semifinal broadcast here, Pee Wee 12v12, live from Citywide here on your Saturday afternoon in southwestern Ontario. As once again, it's going to be Jack Redmond on the gallop. Redmond dragged from behind, and they are going to get Tayshawn Duncan. Duncan has had a fantastic game, but this time he really should have let go of the jersey when he hung up the quarterback high, and Jack Redmond.
Yeah, coming across right there, you can't do that. That's the change in direction in a downward sudden motion that they are absolutely getting rid of in football, and for good reason, because that's the type of injury, that's the type of tackle that can get a kid hit.
And put back for Tayshawn Duncan. It's not like he's intentionally trying to hurt the quarterback.
No, I don't
there.
believe he is.
You're just grabbing a fistful of jersey and realizing, wait a minute, this guy's about to get away from me, and you haul him down.
Yeah.
Ball's placed up to the 54-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Stampeders.
If I can, John, we have a fairly busy week coming up here. We've got the game tonight, the Beefeaters and the Saskatchewan Hilltops.
Now, the only reason why I'm not promoting that game as much as I'd like to is, unfortunately, you're not going to be able to catch that on Junior Mustangs TV for free on YouTube. You got to go to CJFL's website, CJFL TV, and I believe 15 smackaroons is what you're going to have to pay to hear the voice of an angel.
Well, you could pay a whole lot less, and come see me live, but...
I think people have paid a whole lot more, though, too, Ron.
Well, there's different ways of paying,
Oh, my word. 2:01 remains in this football game. They're going to air this one deep, and it is caught! Big play by the Stampeders. I believe that's Punith Gudar.
Yeah, good catch again. That seam pattern again. It's good to see them stretching the ball down, staying with some of that stuff that they're doing earlier in the game.
And it's Zach Benninger taking over at the quarterback duty for Jack Redmond. So watch Benninger go to the air here on this Mama Hot Italian sandwich replay.
And again, this kid's actually throwing the ball nicely a couple times. It's that tight end position.
Yeah, trips to the right side.
Yeah, trips to the right side. You got a tight end, and there he goes in that release. And they haven't been able to pick that up all day. That's been a really good play design, and I promise you they're coming back to it right now.
Yeah, great reception by Punith Gudar. Do they go back to the well with Zach Benninger? Benninger is going to pass this one. It is caught yet again, trying to rumble up the field this time for the Stampeders is Thomas Leo. Leo breaking off a couple of tackles, eventually dripped down to the 25-yard line by Nathan Sims.
And again, that's another kid that got banged up earlier in the second half. That's good to see back out there. I saw he was getting his ankle taped a little bit earlier today.
Just shy of the first down by about a yard. Brings up second and short here with $1:23 left on the citywide clock.
Yeah, and again, one of the other things I was talking to you about, like the Catholic finals or the semifinals.
Oh yeah, what's on
night.
next on the schedule?
Yeah.
That's right. Catholic finals in the junior and the senior side, as well as potentially some OFL finals next week.
Yeah, some OFL finals next week, as the football in the Forest City is wrapping up in the next week or so.
And we hope to, on Junior Mustangs TV, take you through all the action. Trips to the left side now for Benninger. He'll take the snap, has to watch out. The blitz is coming, throws this one up, and it would have been an interception. In fact, a pretty crafty play if you ask me. I believe that's Safaridis that just saved a would-be interception by the Junior Mustangs.
Yeah, it was. He actually does a good job. He's lined up at that tight end position. This time they got triple coverage around him. Yeah, coming back is like,
just
no.
Bulldozes his way through.
Nope.
Going, nobody can catch this ball then.
Mine.
It's such a mind mentality, too.
Yeah.
But it works.
And again, what I really liked about Burlington is, and again, the organization, Burlington has actually year after year after year put down a really quality product. It was sad to see them go at the bantam level at the OPFL.
Hopefully they come back. And
yeah, I'd like to see them come back.
One thing I haven't noticed or noted either was that you got to look good to play good, and I'm loving the uniforms. They're looking very Calgary Stampeder-esque. Is breaking off of a couple tackles, refusing to go down right away, eventually ripped down to the turf by Edwards, but not before gaining the first down yardage needed. I believe that's Quentin Douglas on this carry, number 90.
Yeah, big number 90 again. Really good mobile feet and everything. He's had himself a whale of a game. And again, good to see some of these kids getting a carry or two.
I like the spider monkey tackle, if you will, by Edwards. He just literally launched himself onto the back of Quentin Douglas.
Watch this right here.
Right here.
I'm coming at you like a spider monkey.
It's true, though. He literally had to dive onto his back in order to bring the big man down. But Quentin Douglas does pick up the first down. 28 seconds left in this game.
At the tight end position on the wide side of the field.
Zach Benninger right behind the line of center. Takes the snap. Has a man to the end zone. Going to aim it deep. Incomplete pass. Trying to find Liam Skelton, and I thought he had Skelton right there.
And again, it's 18 seconds left to go.
I like that they're taking their shots.
You play to the final whistle. You play the game.
Oh, Skelton
just off the fingertips.
Skelton was being marked by Levy Finley, and I thought Skelton had the extra jump on Finley. And the only thing I could think of is that ball had to go through the fork, and maybe that played with the receiver a little bit because you would have lost it for about half a second.
Yeah, possibly. And it's tough to do. It's hard to pick up when it goes to the upright like that.
18 seconds left in this OFL semifinal game here on Junior Mustangs TV. It's Benninger avoiding the pressure. Benninger is sacked, loses the ball, and if number 33 has recovered this one, it'll be his third recovery of the game for Tayshawn Duncan.
And he has Tayshawn Duncan with his second strip sack. Yeah, actually his third strip sack.
Yeah, his third fumble recovery. It's got to be a second stripping of the game. That's the fifth fumble of this contest. And you got to think Ben O'Hara, his second of 3 touchdowns in this game, Ron, have come off of a fumble recovery touchdown. You take out those 4 or 5 fumbles by the Stampeders, this is a much different game than the 32-6 scoreboard we see right now.
The Mustangs were looking for a player or someone to step up when they needed to. And again, with only allowing 22 points all season, you kind of had the feeling it was going to be someone from the defense. And for me, the holy cannoli player of the game, number 33 for the Mustangs.
Victory formation for the Junior Mustangs marks this game a final of 32-6 after giving up the opening touchdown with 3:27 remaining in the opening quarter play to Anthony Tabaro, a 2-yard touchdown run for the Stampeders. The Junior Mustangs had not given up a touchdown in well over 2 months. Or at least close to 2 months, I should say. September 13th, a Friday evening contest against the Hamilton Junior Tiger Cats where they lost 14-8. They had 5 straight shutouts. 5 straight shutouts, Ron. 20-plus quarters of shutout football. They gave up a touchdown, though, in the opening quarter of this play. They then go right back to being immaculate, shutting out the Stampeders for the remaining 3 quarters to win this one 32-6. Your thoughts?
You know, again, it was, for me, the game flipped on a couple plays. It was the fumble recovery by number 33 for the Mustangs.
Yeah, Tayshawn Duncan, one of 3 fumble recoveries.
Yeah,
2 in the first half alone.
Yeah, it was the first one because the Mustangs actually, they went down and they scored on that drive, started by the big quarterback zone read, Leon Dessette. That point in the game, the Mustangs seemed to get confidence with every second, with every snap, and you could feel it kind of slowly slipping away from Burlington. Hats off, who played a whale of a game. You know, who really just played an outstanding game, well-coached game. They had the Mustangs guessing. They didn't know what to do for about the first quarter and a half. They figured it out, and at the end of the day, the Mustangs were able to prevail.
Congratulations to the Burlington Stampeders as the greatest line in all of sports forms at midfield here at Citywide. A 6-2 regular season, and they lost to these Junior Mustangs 22-0 at their own barn during the regular season. They come here down to London in the postseason against the elements of wind and rain here in the Forest City, and they went up 6-0, and it looked like, with about 4 minutes left in the second quarter, that they were en route to an upset, but the Junior Mustangs woke up as we go to the Air K-Jacks Communications box score one last time. Again, with 3:27 remaining in the opening quarter, a 2-yard touchdown gallop from Anthony Tabaro, capping off what was really a Jack Safaridis drive by the Burlington Stampeders. It took till 3:45 remaining in the opening half when Ben O'Hara, who I think is our player of the game, Ron, grabbed a 39-yard touchdown on a screen to the near side from the quarterback toss from Leon Doucette. Doucette would follow that up, though, after the Tayshawn Duncan fumble recovery to get another touchdown pass. This one 50 yards to Mackay Edwards, turned it in to a 16-6 game in favor of London at halftime. They added to it late in the third quarter. Ben O'Hara with his second touchdown. This one a fumble recovery from 30-plus yards out to go up 24-6. And then once again, O'Hara shined. In fact, he was the only person to score in the second half of play, Ron. He got a 2-yard touchdown run with 4:44 remaining in the fourth quarter of play to put up his team by 4 scores. And that is the Air K-Jacks Communication box score for this 32-6 final for the London Junior Mustangs over the Burlington Stampeders here in the OFL semifinal.
Again, just a hats off to the Burlington Stampeders, who came up to 401 on a Saturday morning and played a whale of a game. But again, you're voting Ben O'Hara. I kind of made my
Tayshawn Duncan.
Yeah, Tayshawn Duncan.
Let's split the cannoli in half then.
Yeah, the cold cookie players of the game, I guess. It's. And again, just really, but there could have been a number of different players. I thought the Mustangs as a whole played really, really great as a team, but really for me, it was Tayshawn Duncan kind of taking over the game midway through the second quarter on defense.
Yeah, I would say defensive player of the game is no doubt Tayshawn Duncan with not 1, not 2, but 3 fumble recoveries. And then on offense, not 1, not 2, but 3 touchdowns for Ben O'Hara as the Junior Mustangs win 32-6. For the rest of the crew, including Ron Forwarda, Adam and Stephanie Melrose, Alex Stoddard, I am John Urban. One last shout out to the Air K-Jacks Communications, Mama's Hot Italian Sandwiches, as well as Battlefield Rentals for allowing us to skylift. The Junior Mustangs are off to the OFL final here in 2019 fall season in the Pee Wee 12v12 scene next week in Brantford, Ontario. And we hope to catch you then. I'm John Urban, and once again for the rest of the crew, have an amazing Saturday afternoon.